Right, hello guys, welcome to this video. It's another art video. In this video I'm just doing a little bit of reference practice really for sketching for my animated projects coming up. I'm just taking a few notes for myself. So one thing we can do is for characters, obviously you can do like stick figures, obviously. Just literally like that. You know, so you know, stick figures, fighting or whatever like that. You know, could be something you could do. I don't always draw the hip line and the shoulder line, by the way. I just have them like that for starting. Okay, so I might do something like that. You know, there. Boom. See, this guy's there. This guy might be blocking, see. I might do the shoulders, it depends, see where I'm at in terms of how I'm designing it. Sometimes I'll be like, just like this. And I might join up if I want to, see, so I can see how that's working. This is basically, when I bring them down, see, basically what I'm doing is I'm creating the basic setup. So it's like doing, like I said before, these dummies where I go, my body, see, same thing. You can do that as well, you can do a centre line if you want to as well. Yeah, same thing, okay, this one here, you know, goes punching, right, and yeah. Same thing there. See something behind there. See, this goes to the guy's spine, obviously here. So punch that. Same thing. But you can just go literally with stick figures first of all, just to get the basic movement in that. As long as I know where the 4 points are, being like his shoulders and hips, then I'm going to know where he or she, where they're. How to draw the body basically. So anyway, please excuse me for yawning, I'm really tired today. So the idea is that I go here and I'll start to draw now a stick figure on top of that, basically is what I'm doing. And I might do it one of two ways. I'll show you both ways that I'll do that. One way is I'll literally draw the head as a circle, then I'll do the shoulder, do an arm, and I'll do another circle there. I might do an elbow as well, really. It's probably better to do that. From here, you know, again, so I'll still do the spine and the legs there, okay. I might do the line for the shoulders, as I say, again, shoulder for that. Here, and here, so the other hand's back behind his back it would be. You wouldn't even really see that because it's just behind the back. This one here, I have it like that, there, one, so this is here, and it's like down the middle, here, and this is here, so I might not do that though. For the legs I just find I usually just do them like loose like that, it works okay for me. I don't know why, if you want to do it, you can, you want to put these in, and everything, and the feet as well. You know, the feet are off camera here, we can't really see them. You know, you can do this if you want to do that, but you know, just do how you feel comfortable basically. But to be honest with you, it is quite important to do it because sometimes you want to draw the legs a certain way, but I don't always do it. Okay? Anyway, just turn that off and show you another way now, another thing you can do. Another thing you can do is just go in straight away and just do like a 3D kind of thing. So let me just do this here. Which is just literally a basic dummy, you know, like that. Just like basically I'm putting skin on these skeletons now, you see. Like the lines, the stick figures are like the skeletons basically. And then what I'm doing is I'm doing like putting skin on them, you know, basically. That's what it seems like. So it might be there. So once that's done, either way, it's like whenever that's done, I can fix it up a bit, obviously. When it's done, no matter which way you do it, this way or this way, you could have both if you wanted to, you know, I mean, you can do it on top anyway. So I'm going to draw it again, right, you know, I don't have to. I'm going to change colour just so you can see. So I can go here, you know, whatever here. I mean, you can just literally go with something like that. It's a good starting point, that's what I'm saying. And you may or may not need to even bother with doing this stick figure thing. You may not need to even bother doing that, to be honest. And that is really, really a very quite fascinating thing to say there. Now, let me just say something quickly while I'm here as well. When I do this, okay, when I do these images, when I do these things, you just drag these into here for a second. Excuse me. And make a new layer. So if I move these across for a second, these guys. So like sometimes I'll just literally just go in and just do it like literally circles to start with anyway. So I like to do it like that. I may not even do the elbows in there. So, you know what I'm saying? And this will be like, this is how it is, you see. To start with, I might put the face in. It's like an oval shape. It looks a bit circular, I know, but it's oval. So hairline, eyes line, nose line and mouth line. I'll just get that in my mind. Eyes here, I might put some eyes on. Ears, okay. Might put a bit of hair on, or just a little scribble if I want to around there, see. And that's a very, very good setup. This here, what I've just done, by the way, is the same as me doing just a stick figure, and I'll just use a red colour for now, okay? But it's the same as me literally going like this. Literally the same. It really is the same to be doing this and doing the arms. I like to start with the forearms and then come up here. Sometimes I start with the shoulders though, to be honest. I might even do that, you can see. You know what I mean? And I might just make a body. So this is quite big, as you can see, because it's like we're zoomed in quite a lot. You know what I mean? But you see what I'm saying? I'm making this solid thing. Now we can't see the hands because they're in front, right, as well. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a weird, see? But like, you'd have to do it a certain way. You'd have to maybe like do like this, excuse me, different levels to it, you know, where you might do that. And so it's like you're painting this body in, see? I've got like a low opacity here. I find these basically work better when you're like further out. That's when you like draw smaller figures, like from far away. So anyway, things in front. If I've started with like a low opacity there, you can see how it's kind of like overlapping. So I do more. I'm shading those arms in front. There you can see the arms in front, so you can paint over that. Okay. You can also obviously arrange things and fix things. So just let you know. Okay? So either way you do it, like you do it like this, or just have the stick figure, either way. Once you've done that, you can then go in full opacity, low pen, and then just do the body like we just did a moment ago. I can just go in here, you know, that's in there. And you could even like start to put a bit more, you know, structure to them as well. So, you know, so they're not just like this basic shape, they've got a little bit of muscle to them, or whatever you want to have. So you let yourself, you know, remind yourself that these are human figures, you know. You might, You might go in and like change and refine certain things. I'm putting some muscle detail on a few things for the hands here. In this case, they just fits, you know. And whether or not you're going to draw clothes on the character or not, like on the top here. The thing is the basic point is I'm doing this muscle, so it's good practice for it, and also it's good to actually just figure out how you draw in the character. It gives you something to work with later when you put the clothes on top. You know, so like here, I can just go in. You can just give me a pair of underpants or whatever, you know, and then work some kind of muscle in there. Yeah, it looks a bit like that leg's a little bit too long, right, but you know, just do it like that. But that works, you see. It's just going here. Again, as I say, I would have to do it a certain way where I'm seeing the design, the basic. We've still got the basic guide there, so. So this will be the hair, right? So, you know, and fix things up a little bit if some of the proportions aren't too right. You know, you can just use it. So it gives you some kind of body to look at, you know, when you're here. Another thing you could do is come in here and go, do this here, and then come in and go. You know, just you might even just go in. You might even just go in and just do a character. It depends how you feel. You might just put some clothes on or whatever, you know. You might even have some clothes on, so you might not need to do all the muscles. You just put a basic, you know. You might want to like go even like in the baggy clothes, whatever they're wearing, you know, so that could work. Hat on or whatever, you know. Later on, you might do different things, you know. But the main basic thing is, I feel, is like this. Just doing a stick figure, i.e. from like far away, you know, like that. You know, there. Boom, you know, this guy's punching. So it's so fast to do. They really are these little stick figures, you know. As soon as you do that, standing on the hill or whatever, I'm just going to do that for a second. Just come in, see it. It's so easy to just work with. You can draw a body on top of that now. I can just literally come with that and work out where the basic body is. So I might just go like. Just to get a basic design, you know. I might put some muscle, it depends how I feel, you know, just for the basic design. To start it off, the better a representation I can get of it, the better, right? Okay, so here and you know, here, but that's just like me putting some trousers on the guy. I mean, you could just make it like, you know, see, like, I don't really want to draw the character in his underpants. I'm just saying, just to get that, you know, feel of the anatomy. I'm not the best, as I say, at doing it. I'll rotate it a little bit if you need to. I don't know. You know, just whatever, adjust it as you need to. You know. see, from something like that, you can literally work with drawing a proper character now on top of that, bring it down, and really fix it up proper, like, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's all a good thing. So to start with, you know, little simple hands. See, again, so I didn't do the rest of the arms or the up here and the shadow, so you can put that in if you want to. Put a bit of a simple character there. It's not a proper character, it's like, you know. But before long you'll realise you start even, like, you know, drawing more details in than you thought, just for like basic human figures, you know. I've noticed, and it just seems to all come together basically. So, just simple stuff. Please excuse me a second. I know I've not done a good job of this foot here, but you know, this could be back here. Maybe he's like, oh, okay, something like that. But you see, when you've got something like this, guy looks more stronger than the other guy. Yeah, when you've got that, you can start to do better, like proper characters, obviously, you know, once it's done. So this is not the proper thing, obviously. This would be just like, you know, once you've got that, you're ready to go, kind of, because it looks a bit out of proportion. Certain things look wrong about it and stuff, like his shoulder there still looks a bit fucked up. His arms are a bit too small, I think, namely this arm here is very small. I thought that right from the beginning, like that here. So you can fix things up, as I say, you know, as well. That shoulder, the size. So various things. But yeah. But when you're drawing those stick figures, you know, you can really make them fight well, I feel. You know, animate them well, like, you know, you do the animation pretty well. So like, yeah. Put this in there for a second. We'll just turn it off first. I'll just try to show. Okay, hold on. Turn it off. Make another layer. Ah, what's that? What happened there? Okay, so from here, like, you can do it like on a small level too. I mean, I could just go here, so like I said before, see this is here, this guy is here. So you can do a head and all like that as well, same thing, so just like that. This guy is, you know, blocking or whatever, you know, you can do it like that, but it's like, I find it quite better to, you know, place the joints in and stuff. So like, you know, put a head here, the other guy's head's here, he's like coming in, and just like do them on the fly, like work the joints in. See, like that, it's just been hit, like, whoa, you know. Sometimes you might want to do that, so these guys go flying. I might put the shoulder line in at this point. You know, the upper hand's about there, blah, blah, so. So I think like either way's okay when you're doing it, really, either way. You know, you can do it for whatever joints you want to put in, so bring that down. Once you've got the basic idea, go in there and then just work your character, like work your, not your proper character, but like your, you know, necessarily, you could do a basic rough sketch if you want to, like a guy here in a t-shirt, or if you want to do that, see. You can do that, you know, by all means, you know, if you want to do that, you can do that. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, you could do that. You know, this kind of thing. You could draw a character in. Yeah. I don't know. Or you can just like go in and do a basic like dummy, really, is what I like to do, really. Just a dummy character first before you do a proper thing, you know. Going around the shapes of the muscles and so on around the body, you know. So there's not much to worry about. You just basically still, like I said, put in that flesh basically on the bones. So the stick figure's not the bones, you know. Move them across if you need to, whatever. So just down the middle, I can fix it up a little bit. So I'm not trying to draw an arse cracker, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, so like, you can like just work it out a bit more, how everything goes, you know. Whatever is the basic thing. I'm not the best at doing anatomy, and so as you can see that. So this is just a top here, basically wearing, you know, these here. And you can just work it out. So when you do the faces, obviously you'll do the proper faces, you'll draw the faces in. You can check my other videos out, you'll see that. But in the beginning, when you first do a face, you can just go like that: hairline, eyes line, nose line, mouth, and an oval shape. It's an oval shape. Circles here for the eyes, a couple of ears on there. You know, just go in, put a bit of hair like around here. You know, go in. You can do like a face when you come around to it, you know. When you come around to it, I'm just doing a rough thing just to show you, like, how you would use that as a guide. I'm saying I've decided to put the mouth higher. This is a mouth line, but you can work it either way. Come in here, chin. I'm just doing a really rough thing, I'm not doing a proper thing here. You know, just put a face in. Adjust a few things. It's a good guide. you might have you know, a face. Obviously you can take much more time if you want and do things a lot better when you do it, so it's up to you, you know, whatever. This little rough thing, I'm not going to go crazy on it, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a little work on the faces. Now, okay, I want to delete that for a second. So, understanding that animation mode, we're using Fire Alpaca by the way. I turn on always display first frame. You can put a target, a little target, some little script as a target. You go up there, and I can just literally start doing, you know, stick figures. So this is got forearms, a head and forearms, a neck, and then the legs. Just imagining where the hips are. I didn't even bother to draw the rest of the arms in, so so simple like that. And I go like next frame, and I go like, okay, so this is the forearm basically. I'll tell myself that's the forearm. This is that there. These other legs starting to move, you know. That arm back there. You know, I don't have to draw everything in. And go there. And I can draw the shoulder if I want to. See, if I want to do the whole arm, I can. I can just literally go in from here and do the whole arm. Now, and this would be like maybe here, you know. Just imagine I put this back here, I put that back there. So you can draw how much you want to put in a bit, basically. So when I do it, the basic thing is like a head, right? These arms here, see, forearms. Put this bit up here now. Yeah, that's here. I might even do like that, see this, and then put the rest of the legs in. And it looks funny in the beginning, but there, this is the rest of the arm. We're not seeing much from the other side. Way too small. At the back would be about there, and then this is here. This is twisting, as I say, it's just like there, there. This is here, this is the other arm back there. Might put a little, let me see, so that's the, okay. And then from here, it's just basically like that. So I'm going to make it like, okay, his back's about there. Put a little foot on there, you know. And then put this here. See? So I press play, slow it down a bit. You can see the basic design. I know, obviously the target's not close enough to him, I don't understand that. You know, you can get your animations going, right? So you can basically do any moves by doing that. But the point is, like, from here, I could do it with the circles if I wanted to. I like to use those circles, so I could be just literally like that. Here, 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 boom. You see how simple that is? Like, boom, watch. Next line. Boom, 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 say. Doesn't need much at all. So this could be a line there coming across, boom, say. That's there now, see. So we can see clearly what we're looking at. So from here, I come here and have a black, for example. So this is here. Right. Something like that, so showing that his, body's turned around basically. So I'm saying from there, okay, something like that. So like here's there, and then and from here. And before long, you'll see that you just literally. They just come together. It's a basic starting point. This is how I'm doing it for starters. So, okay, so that's a good starting point to just get the basic idea. You can put on the middle one, you move that up and go. Okay. When things are moving more slower, they look a bit rougher if you don't have more frames. If they're very fast movements, you can just have less frames, yeah. Okay, so from here, again, you can go to like, let me think about this. So you can go to sometimes you'll have a character here like this, but and the character's standing there like that, let's say, and in the next frame, so the last frame would be like a target, right? So let's just put something here. Target, right? And I'll just move him back a little bit here. So in the last frame, the last one, he'll be like there punching the target, right? He can be like really like, like that. Or have it like, see like that was back there, maybe this is going forward. Back there, maybe. Okay, it's got the shoulder. That's the elbow, shoulder. Sorry, hold on. This is the elbow. Sorry. In that case, it'll be like that, right? So it means. Okay, in this case, it's like his body is turned to the side, but this is still like this. So it's like here. Okay. This is turned round, so it doesn't matter, it's just the way I like that, okay? What I'm saying is that between this and that, there may be like just this whoosh. So like he's moving forward, and the fist will be like shum, 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 just put some lines like that, whooshing lines. See? You can see. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got a character here, you might have just like lines, See the next line here. So then come back again. And the next one. So like, see how they're whooshing by? Because that whooshing, blurring, because they're so fast, like So, and I think that really works really well. Whoosh, see, and pow, whoosh, pow. So if you're doing this one here, really, in reality, this one here should be like whooshing back, maybe. It depends how you want to do it. Like this could be coming back, and this arm's coming back, Right, So, and it works really well. You can do any techniques too. So, like for example, both arms could be coming back. Let's say we do it like into the extreme now. Both arms coming back. So boom, 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 back. And the other hand as well, and his body's there. And maybe this leg is here, this leg's here, and then the other leg is going up here. So look from here. And it's like he's here. I'm gonna break the guy's back in. It's like he's kicking, that's it. And maybe his arms are just like this. So it's so simple. So, and then with the next frame, he just, you know, just coming back down here. See, and it's like something like that, you know, and you just play it like that. So notice how he places his foot. But I don't have to do that where he places his foot. I could get rid of that and just make it from here immediately from there. So you just go straight in. See, so. The main thing is like, it's just so much movement going on in the first place. I mean, you could also have it like this. You could also have it like he's here, you know, and it's like boom, zigzagging in already. See, from here. I just do a basic character, but when I do it, I have these like these whooshing lines anyway. So shroom, and then here. And like here, you can see they're going so fast now. Do the forearms like that, see? You should join up, this foot's coming up now, boom. Already see, pow, see? And this one coming in will be a big shot here, so boom, boom. Hang on, so where are we? 1, 2. Next one might be like a big left, maybe a left strike. Maybe the forearm just whooshed back there, see? And this is like that, and this is like that, see? It's like shoosh. And that would give you the idea. So when I press play, it's so fast, but you don't see any frames in between, it's the only thing. But then what you would do is you do your proper artwork on top of it. I think something like this looks a little bit tacky. It depends how you do it. I want to have more movement myself personally. So what I'll do is I'll like a proper, like I'll go there, you know. You know, might be there, you know. You know what I mean? You can go really rough, really. So, more frames. It's not very good, I know. The thing is, when you're drawing them close up, you seem to be only better to use like skinny little small brushes. If you use a big brush like this and try and do a head, you still got to do a colouring in and stuff. It's okay, but you know what I mean? It's like so thick to work with. So sometimes it's better to just go from far away. But that's the talking like just here. See, look, here, boom. See, they don't look too much now, do they? They look like really small, but when you like make them bigger, or when you zoom in, I'm just going to make them bigger in this case, but you can see now they're thick, see? So it's good to work with like small little stick figures first, I'd say. Anyway, so I might just do like a triangular kind of shape like this, see? First to get the motion in. No matter how you do it, just get that, you know, understanding of the human figure. It's okay if they're really skinny too, because they're like skeletons for what's going to be when you pull the muscle, when you put the clothes on, when you do the proper thing, you know. But the main thing is posture, right? So I'll bring that down, you know, and yeah, you can go on top and do like more better figures, you know, if you want to do. I'm not going to do a proper one, I'm just saying. I'm actually using a very, very small kind of canvas at the moment too, which is ridiculous of me. I'm just doing this for quickness, as I say, you know. You know, so when you come in, you know, you can do all your business. Whatever, you know. Not very good muscle there, but you know, so you can like resize everything. You know. Still going simple. It's just a little basic thing I'm doing. I'm not doing a proper thing. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean? You could go in there and you could really go and do some proper thing and saying on top of it. A good thing to do would be also the bigger ones. You just did this right in the beginning if you want. You don't have to do those little skinny things like I just did. You can go really soft and do these like marshmallow, whatever, toothpaste figures, and I think they work really well. I'm not putting feet on here, but you can put feet on, of course, and put little indications where there's hands and things. But this will give you definitely a very good guide, you know, for better proportions. You can put some lines in to help you as guides and things if you want. But just adjust it to make sure all them proportions do look right. In terms of size, so you know, so that fucking head looks like it's been squashed by something heavy here. You know, see that again here too, like, there is a fucking groin, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, let's look at something. So sometimes, I'm just going to bring this up really quickly. I've done these like star kind of figures. So I've done these before, you know. They're like stars almost, they've got shoulders. You know, you might be doing a move. Cool, so. Oh, no. So I might put little triangle bits for the legs and stuff. So I'll do things like that, right? And sometimes they're really good, or like these flame kind of shapes I've done in the past too. This might represent people from far away, someone's further away, see. This is a street, see, down there. Some people walking, and then you can work with something like that and just like try to work them in. Do your dummy figures. I love to do these, as I really do. Just a really tall person, this person. These are like small ones back there, or right a bit further back, you know. So you can see how all the different methods and different things. I really do feel it's really useful to do these, as I keep showing you a lot. I keep going back to these. I'm happy I do. These I call them like, you know, the forearm again here, and then go down. We have these what do you call it? These cushions or like pillow bodies, beanie babies, whatever you want to call them. I call them beanie babies. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're really useful, because you can imagine where the spine is, again, underpants, torso, all that, you know what I'm saying? That's all there, centre of the body, so underpants, torso, simple. Put your shoulders on as well, as I say, when you want to do that, all that business. Little shape, put a square, whatever you want to put on there. Just work the basic start off points, right? But what I'm going to say is, yeah, so there's many different ways you can do things. This could be a body here, and then you might put the forearms on later, and then put that up. So this guy's sitting on a chair. So that's where the head's going to be, obviously. This is where the arms could be. You can just do some lines if you want to. Maybe just holding a book or something there. You know. I don't think they really work well. Same way as you do these marshmallow type ones as well. Either way, you can do like lines, see, if you want to do that. Put the shoulders in first, elbows, and then join them up later. But you know, either way works, it just works. Legs go. There's just many ways you can do it. But what I'm going to say is that I found when you do these little stick figures, they're quite handy, because let's say I do a setup, like so there's a sitting scene or something there, okay. You know, I want this like a high up shot, and I've not done the perspective right. I know, like you can do things like perspective, you know. So, you know, let's imagine, right? So I do this, right? And I go and I play with the perspective for a second, so I go like that, see, like that, right? Something like that, yeah. Boom, straight off the bat, see. This one I'm just going to do a little rough thing here too. So we're looking down on these characters, right? There'll be a bridge over there, who knows, right? It goes over there, there's the rooftops of some buildings, right? Be a tree or something there, I don't know. Okay, this is pavement. It's just got a whole city going on, a whole scene, you know. There's someone's car, the top of the car we're seeing from here, you know. And you can imagine, so we're looking down, right? This is like the roof, whatever. Okay, now let's just give that a bit of colour just for a second, so. You know, if I do that, if I do this, okay, and I want to put some people down there, well, you could literally, if you wanted to, just literally go in with some stick figures, couldn't you, see? My little stick figures. And maybe it's like the, you know, it's the angle I think I've not done too well, because we're really looking down on them a lot. So really you would just see the heads and the shoulders, I think, really. But you know what I mean? There you'd have something like that. These could be some people, even just like little shapes from far away. You could just do little shapes like these are some people on the road, you know. But what I'm saying is, like, you could do different things. So like, let's say somewhat it's, you know, some kind of perspective. We're looking down somewhat on them, but we're not looking right down on them like bird's eye view. Do you know what I'm saying? So you could like have stick figures there. You see this guy's waiting. He wants to fight him. This guy's got his arms folded. You know. So another person here a bit closer maybe. I don't want to go like too bodies, I'll draw them small. So here he's holding his head. No, what are we gonna do, man? So let's imagine I make this guy a bit bigger here. So like, oh no man, what are we gonna do? Something like that. Yeah. And you can see you just set up the basic scene right from the start. So like I can put this here and then zoom in. You know, adjust everything. So here, just put the basics, and I might really want to just put the shoulders and everything like that. I might even put the body there if I wanted to. Or just work out the whole, you know, perspective of everything. See, it's just letting me know. See, 1, 2. So this is here. Oh no, see. This guy here. You know, I mean, you could like literally work it in or zoom in and do proper characters. I'll say. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just saying you could do all that. Another thing, obviously, is like this. So I like to do these ones, as I said before, like zigzag. If you're doing lines or zigzags to do this, a bit of both. Where we go, you know, to give the sense of direction, and I'll put like the head like that, for example. Body there, this is a hand, an arm, sorry, yeah, something like that maybe. You just do it as you go along basically, so like this. I mean, you just draw the shapes in, so like the body's turning around. Maybe that's a leg. So just here. This is like this. This is like that. So yeah. You have to break it up as you go along as well. I'm going to adjust it. Something like that anyway. You know, you can work like some shapes here, do some hair and get the motion going into, you know, do that and then draw your proper character on top. Draw everything in. They work well, and they really do work well because you do like animation that way. So I can do a character. I might just do basic lines from here, see, and then think about how the character's moving. So your body's moving up, that's moving. I may even make a mixture, so like do this kind of blurry line thing first. And then just there, see, or like this, or rather this, so just combining different methods really. I don't know, not great, but you know what I mean. Just depends how you feel like doing it. Now, I want to say before we go, I want to talk about scenery. So, scenery is something that's doing my head in. It's been doing my head in. It's trying to get on my nerves. So, like, I do like just a representation of where our screen is going to be. So, screen. Space. Let's just imagine we'll leave this as a frame just to give myself a bit of a guide. Well, you know, I'll just change the hue for a second. Can I? God, hold on. Just have it like this. I'll lock it. Hang on. Take that off. I just have something simple, you know. So if I come here can do things like just literally mock something up, do a quick scribble. So like the horizon's going to be here. I want it to be fairly downward as seen, so I might put some little shapes in. The character's going to be here, standing here, because you're fighting thing. I want big buildings in the background, so I put some buildings like that. Just literally mock them in, you know. Literally that. It's literally done. Done. So it's a bit of a perspective. There may or may not be a path here. I'll just give myself that understanding. So I might put some lines across, straight up, you know, perspective off the bat. So extra lines if you want, always good. You know, and I'll just look at that in the scene. I might even move it around. So is that a good camera angle? I don't want it here. I might even not draw the characters in, but I like to draw the characters in early. But what I mean by that is you could draw the character in on another, another layer in the beginning even, so then that way you can like draw the background and start moving them around, or be like, these are like placeholders basically. You can make a bigger one here, someone's going to be in the foreground here, see, someone might be a duplicate of it, you know, shit, where are we? Duplicate of that, and then make this one further back down there, or say if someone about here, maybe standing here. I've cut the bottom off back, so then just like a little flame kind of like thing, see? You can have like the feet, if you wanted to, like outwards, if you wanted them to stand like that. Later when you put a head on, shoulders and everything, you do the whole body, you just work this character in here, and you draw on another layer, you know, it's going to be, or just draw a stick figure on top, even like, you know, here, you know, whatever it's going to be, you know. However they stand, just work it out later on, you know. But I think it's definitely a good way to like work the background out. So I think rather than overthinking the backgrounds, this is a very important part of this video, this is literally getting the whole thing. So like imagine, okay, I want a different scene now where like the horizon's really low and we can look it up at these, someone will be far away but we want to look up, like, you know, this, I want to put some perspective, like just roughly give myself some perspective. It's okay, so I want it to be like big buildings in the background, we're looking up, say a castle, ruins or whatever, so let's put something like that, just as a basic guide. It doesn't matter how I draw the fucking things in, excuse my language, doesn't matter at all, right? So here again, perspective, this is rough perspective, I'm not even going in an improper perspective. I don't think it's necessary. Another character in the foreground here maybe. Great mock-up already. Bring that down immediately. You can start now to design, you know, some basic designs. I could literally go in here and do a basic design off the bat, you know, following that basic shape I've got there. You know, you can even cut any kind of shapes in we want. With that understanding, see, yeah. You know, making sure you're following the perspective, you can't go wrong, you know. And you can like draw a proper building in later, you know. You could have different planes, or things like that in the background too if you wanted to. You know, with another more of a path, more paths and stuff if you wanted to, you know. You could like literally do some stuff like that, you know. Could be a big mountain or whatever the fuck that is, it doesn't make a difference. You know, let's just get rid of that for a second. You know, so when that's there, you could literally imagine, so you'd have your character about here, you know, wherever he is. Another character here. Sometimes this could do like a scribble, like something like that, a scribble. I like to do this as well, it's another thing I like to mention. Just scribble like that. You know, have another person sitting, or just someone in any kind of position you wish, whether someone's waving. Hey man, he's got a gun maybe in his hand. How dare you come here? This guy's holding a machine gun. Whatever. Bring backpack on, who knows, you know, and they're waiting for the guy. So I want this guy to be a bit to the side, I don't like it, move it over. You do it on a different layer, because you wouldn't draw the background and him together, but you know what I mean? You move them around and stuff. And there you go, just get rid of the first thing there. And then you can start working more details in there. So, let's do a few little practice things now. So, a low down perspective. Doesn't matter, we're not seeing the ground, are we? We can put the ground in here. We can put the ground in here. We can put the ground in anywhere basically. We can put the ground in, the ground line could be all the way across, you know, all the way across here, all the way here. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be like rounded. Could be this way. It could be that way. It could be like bottom of a building or something. See, which is totally fine because you can do that. Could be the bottom of a building here. See, boom. See, so excuse me. Yeah. Boom, and then something like you just have to work it a certain way. I'm saying, you know, obviously that's a bit of a weird one, but you know what I'm saying there. So yeah, you put this in here, and yeah, see, put your characters in. Or maybe they're big characters. Maybe from here I could put a table. Very important. So let's look at that quickly. Understanding. Put a table here. This could be like inside a restaurant or something, who knows. But I'm just literally eyeballing it. Let's put a chair in. I'll just make it like a block, basically. And you see how I'm following that perspective? I'll put another chair in at a funny angle. Put this in here. See how I'm following the perspective there? See? Get rid of that for a second. And something like that, you know. Like that, maybe a bit better. Hold on. Over here. And with that understood, you go on another layer and say I'm going to have a character here. You can put the shoulders in, do that business if you want to. Do the whole Beanie Baby thing, as I call it. Yeah, exactly. Put this here, see, shoulder, the whole body there. See, can't see his legs. This hands here holding a cup. Top of the guy's head. Let's make it a bit smaller. I didn't do the guy's shoulder. You can put a shoulder in here just to let yourself know he's holding the cup, you know. So obviously you've got like a scene already. You know what I mean? Looks like he's kind of holding something here in front of his body because his body like really laying back. I think this guy. So it's right there. Everything's there that you need. So the window, see, could be here as well, you know, following that basic perspective, you know, it's just right there, you know, blinds or whatever it is on there, you know, just think about the designs. It may even be that later on you want to really change that to be like a different shape, the room, kind of like that, and kind of get away with that, see, as well, so you can actually follow the lines of perspective, obviously, so it makes sense, you know. A big fan on the ceiling, something like that, you know. He's interrogating the guy. Interrogating him. I don't know what you might do. It's up to you, see. But this is the whole point. So from here, you see, this could be a whole thing. This could be a whole walkway or whatever this might be. It might come from here, it might go off into another direction even here. Might be some bridges, who knows? Might be some bridges, so I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say there, that's standing up on some big stilts things there. Some person walking past, another one here. I don't know. Some people here. Put some little mock-ups in there. There's supposed to be people, a little start off point, you know. Or you can literally put them in and then they're going to fight, you know. So they're here now, you've got to fight, you know. Do that, I don't know, this could be like this is the temple roof. We're going to fight. I've got a few people watching on the big square. So Yeah, now another thing, a horizon line. So the horizon line, you can have it high or low, right? Anywhere here. And we just work how close or far the things are by making them bigger or smaller, right? We could decide like that. We could have it also obviously tilted or whatever, like that. Depends how you would have it. It could mean the camera's tilted, it might mean they're on a hill. It doesn't really make a difference, okay? It's weird, it does make a difference. I'm just saying that. And let's just say we've got this here. Yeah, like I say, from here you can just literally start to decide what you want to do. So you might have a few buildings designed already that you've drawn. Let's say you do, okay? Let's just imagine you have a few buildings, some are straight like that, some are different pointy roofs, who knows, right? Some are like a cluster of buildings, whatever. And you've got a random, like the perspective's not perfect. It depends what you're going to do. You might draw them out first. But let's just imagine, okay, so you've got this here, and there's a few buildings here. Just say this is like a straight one, but just like a pointy roof on it. And you know, do a few rough designs, okay? So let's just imagine these are here, and this is totally fine to go with. I think even for like a good cartoon, you'd be doing it a certain way. The basic design first, right? But let's just imagine do a proper good design first, okay? You might have some different designs going on as well if you want to. On some buildings you might have that. So here's this, you know. And you might have different things going on. You might really do some like little balconies and stuff like that, you know. See, just a few little details, and immediately we've got what we've got. But what I did here is I didn't do any perspective really. I mean, that one's got a bit of an angle to the roof and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is actually perspective we're using. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it's really like it's just like we're really just using a flat front on kind of view, regardless of how high or low the horizon line is. I've got that as a kind of flat backdrop. Do you know what I mean? I didn't use like this kind of thing like first of all to make them go up. We could have done that, and this would be a great thing. Just rough it as fast as I just drew it. You don't have to use rulers necessarily. It's up to you. You know, I didn't do anything more. I didn't go down. So we got up or down, right? You got to have to understand the basic things. So, you know, we've got our horizon line there. This is basically saying that we've got this 1 point perspective. Is what I'm going with, okay? 1 point perspective, being like that, so you'd have all your lines going across, and that's what we got. So we'd have someone here, standing here, or someone back there. They're going to fight each other and kick ass. Right? Let's just imagine, again, so 2 point perspective. Let me lock the fuck out of these for a second, I don't want to fuck it up. So you could have like horizon line about there. Lower, it's okay because we put a bit of mist and blur the buildings out. I'll show you in a moment. And you could have like off screen, which is why I've got my screen frame here, which could be even smaller or bigger if you want. But you could have like, you know, pointers, you know, 2 point perspective. So if I was doing that, we could have used that. But I've not used any of this picture. What I've done here is really, you know, first person perspective, 1 point perspective. Sorry, 1 point perspective. But I'm just saying, if we were to do a setup like this now, which is like a 2 point perspective, put some straight lines down, and run across on this one, that would work cool too, because we could also do some buildings. Not to mention, just saying that you could, if you wanted to, have buildings like that in the background, and you could still put some more buildings there in the front if you wanted to. You could really do that using this new what do you call it, 2 point perspective, okay? So, oops, I should not be drawing on this layer, that's what it is. Thought something was up. So excuse me. So here, okay. I'll just use a ruler, which really helps. Using thick lines just to show you, that's the only reason I'm using thick lines, okay? Yeah, you could literally, you know, go with that. You could literally go with and now add to the scene using the 2-point perspective. Even though we've got those buildings in the background, the 1-point perspective. Do you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to. Because it wouldn't make much of a difference because they're so far away and it's like a little distance scene in the background to fill the background. But you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. Also, I want to say for things in the background, sometimes you could, for the background, you may just have like literally, what I like to do is like a little faded silhouette of some buildings, like things like that, you know? You know what I mean? Like just something like that. And for either of these buildings, by the way, you can fade them in with some colour or erase the bottom of them. It looks like a bit of mist. The illusion of mist. Oh God. R.I.P. Bob Ross, what a legend. Do you know what I mean? But something like that, and it works so well when you have like something like that. Even in the background with like this, even with something going on like this, like obviously not in the front because you've got these buildings here. Do you know what I mean? Like in the background, further back, you might have buildings like, you might add a blur to it as well, make it more faint. Yeah, but anyway, so that's what I was going to say with these buildings here. So with these buildings here, and I really do enjoy sketching little buildings like these, by the way. I want to say you could, and I'm going to try this just quickly. You can, you know, I'm going to put some colour in there just really quickly. So I'm just going to cut these off here, go like this basically. I want to put some colour in, so you'll see in a moment. Put this here, just rough, just very rough, it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to go to turn these visibility off of those layers there. Expand by 1 for the paint bucket. Let's see, I'm going to select from the canvas actually this time. Then go inverse, keep it on that yellow layer we just had, and just colour these in. Then go select opacity, right? Turn off highlight because it's kind of confusing. And I give them a fade if I want to, so I can go like blue and yellow. You don't have to do this, I'm just saying that. Give it a nice faded colour. This looks so nice. You know, I might have this really dark or even like a black if you wanted to, you know, it depends. The details make them dark. Oh, I didn't colour those too well, did I? But you see what I'm saying? These balconies here. Just picking the colour just randomly, it doesn't matter. You can put as much detail, whatever you want to put in, it's up to you on that. You know, merge those down obviously, do what you've got to do, duplicate them if you want to and all that, do some shadow on one side if you really want to. You know, like erase like that, making a duplicate, one's darker, one's lighter, you're just erasing from one side basically, you know, just giving it a bit of like, you know, a bit of detail, right? Merge those down, and let's say you've got like a background, I'll turn that on for a second, let's just say you've got a background, okay, which is like a sky, or let's say, let's just imagine, okay, you've got a colour here, a sky like colour, you see, what I'm trying to say is, and yet, by the way, your lines, you might want to have your lines like really light lines if you want to, you can have really light lines or no lines or whatever, or just stronger lines or different colour lines. You can have them however you want, but the main thing is don't make the background stand out too much, too strong if your characters are the main focus. So you might want to like leave them a little bit faint or transparent, or like even like that, even, or like, you know, or just like not as stronger lines and stuff. It depends what you're doing. Anyway, let me just show you. So when I'm here, let's just imagine that if put the colour up and bump it up a bit if you want. Depends what you want to do. Now I can come into here, right? And I can come in there and I could, couple of things, I could have like a fade in there anyway, like in the distance, like a bit of a like a mist or whatever it is anyway, you know what I mean? You might even have your ground just in there like that, just like simple anyway. You might put the grounding, you might draw the grounding later, it depends how you do it. But what I'm saying is these buildings, okay, here, you can erase, is what I'm saying to you, erase. So like here, I'm using a ruler, but like gradually like fade them out, like see, so they're like really faded in, you know, turn that off, to the backdrop. If you're worried you're going to mess it up, then don't worry. You can just make a duplicate layer, so if you fuck up, you've still got a backup, you know. Always keep a duplicate if you need one, you know. So something like that might work very nicely, is what I'm saying to you. Now, let's say for example now the background, okay, you may want to have that some line in there or something, just to get rid of this for a second. See, that could be a nice little scene as is, right? And the reason you might want to have this frame, by the way, is because sometimes you might want to be moving the image. So let's imagine I do this quickly, okay? You might want to be moving it past the camera's moving across and you see more of the image, like when you're doing animation, you know? Let me just turn this off for a second. Sometimes you may want to have it like here, and I can use a ruler, it's fine, a little thin line maybe. Here, I might want to put some ground in the foreground, even though we've got that faded out in the back. I still might want to do that, you know. And it's okay to go like some broken lines too. It's okay, but obviously they're too thick, those lines, I think. What it is this image is too small, so I'm going to make it much bigger now, especially for a background. I'd make it even much bigger than this, but I'm just doing this just to show you. You know, I'd make it even bigger if it was me, so I can get a bit more better whatever going on, you know. But you see what I'm saying? So you might do a little bit of sketch or something here. You might want to put a bit of like a path. You might literally work out your perspective beforehand if you wanted to, you know. I don't know, I'm just doing a rough thing, as I say, just like here, just do what I'm saying. Let's just imagine, so it might be just this like place in the middle of nowhere. There's not even much detail at all, just like really simple. You know, that could literally be it, you know, that could literally be it. You don't really have to do much, right? If I wanted to, I could just come over here. I'm being really careful with this, my god. You know, copy, paste, just that part, up the colour, you know, or like bring the brightness down, just, you know what I'm saying, little things like that. Yeah, there you go, yeah. You know, that works fine, you know. I was going to colour it a different way, like just colour underneath it, but I think that works okay, right? I can merge this down. Erase any bits that I feel were a bit fucked up, like here. It's all one layer now, by the way. You know, you can have like a lighter one if you want here. Sorry, a duplicate of that. You know, a lighter one if you want to. Even like that might be okay. You know, just a simple thing. You can literally make those lines a bit less strong, like the contrast if you wanted to with the back. You know what I'm saying? I would say like for here you could go with like with the lines, you could go like soft eraser version of the airbrush. The ruler's there and just come across and like reveal the darker one being closer to us. That is a little bit darker too, as you see. Right. It just depends how you want to do it, really. I don't have to do that, but yeah, you know, and you could just literally do all kinds of, you know, like white if you wanted to, just a slight bit of colour. I find it nice to have colour though. I've noticed a lot of that. So I used to do my buildings like so boring, like the buildings I used to just do so boring, you know, like I used to do the buildings like so boring, like what do you call it? Just no colour or anything, you know. But yeah, you could try different things too on top of it, like going overlay or whatever. But you haven't got to have it like this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, have a bit of something in there. Just make it interesting. So look at a bit, I don't know. Even just yellow, like a yellow, even like a yellowish orange sort of colour or something. Even something like that, and then just put some shadows and details like rock and stuff might work. But just going like that. Just go there and then go something like that, I don't know. But that would have to depend on you, what you want to do at the end of the day. I know that mist's pretty bright there, I know, but do you know what I mean? But there's many ways you could do a background, that's what I'm trying to say. So, starting off with a nice sketch. Yeah, you know. You might even decide, like, just do a rough thing firstly, like, you know, I want a rooftop here, yeah. But I think the best thing to do is, like, decide where the ground is. So you say, well, okay, what, a horizon line or what? I mean, it might just be a room. This is the room, you know. With the staircase, which goes up to the next level, and it goes over here, you know. So it's just a random thing, I didn't like work it out too well, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so let's just try and work out the perspective from what I've got then. You know, it's like, just try and work it. What I do is basically I decide where one of the walls are, so. So it's like, it's coming up here, okay, well, I'll just go with it like that and just mock it up and work it as I go. Now, this is very rough, it's not like, you know, which is not the proper way to do it. But you know, Kim Jong-gi was a legend. He used to just draw things like with proper perspective, like straight lines, no rulers or anything. He was like really, really accurate, you know. And I do believe that the best way, you know, if you was to work it, you really could, you know. So that's wrong. This, you could like really, you know, start to work things out basically. As you go along, you know, because it's hard to like think about perspective if you don't know, like it's exact perspective, if you don't know what you're seeing is going to basically overall look like, you know what I'm saying? So like overall, I'm saying by that, I mean that you can come in here and say like, I want a guy standing here, put his head in there, there's a guy standing there. And in the background we're going to have like these buildings, you know. You just literally do these straight lines so that you might do a bit of a shape. I want it to be a car closer to us, so I literally scribble it in, so there's a car there. And he's standing here by this table. You see what I'm saying? But he's looking out of his window in this big room. So it just becomes this like this scene, you know. The door's over there. You're trying to like work out the perspective of how he's going to be standing. Meaning another person will be about this big. So you say, why are you looking out the window, John? You know, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I mean, you said two people standing there, okay, it's gonna be like that, and they're fighting on top of this thing above the clouds. There's a fence around it, and they're gonna fight there, you know. And in the next scene, you see them from a different angle, so I might put it like that, see? And the fence is like that. So then, the clouds are there. It just depends on how you work it out, so. But I think the main thing is like you're not always thinking about backgrounds in general, you're just mostly just having the characters. So there's a guy here, you know, guy here. I might do the shoulder line, I might not see any. I might just go in with the, you know, as I say, that might be go up there, the shoulders, see, the fight in here, see. Fix the position of the head, I don't know. like that. It's not too good, but you know what I'm saying? Think about the moves. You know, you might even not do the head, you might do that kind of thing. Something like that, I don't know, man. In this place. It's not a fucking octagon, is it? This shit. Okay, and you know. I think that's the basic main thing. You think about it. Characters on the screen, characters talking and stuff, right? You know, talking on the screen, faces and that talking, you know. Another guy's here. So what do you mean? I didn't take your cookies. Yes, I didn't take your cookies, you know. He's holding plates of cookies. Those are my cookies, man. In the next scene you see the guy like his head's here and the other guy just kicked up, you know, boom. I'm still there. It just doesn't matter too much how you do it, but it's like you work it out eventually. And he's like, oh shit. But I think that's the main thing really. The main thing is like, no matter how the characters are on the scene, in the scene, no matter how they're standing, I think as far as the backgrounds go, it's just like literally, you just put a few things in, the shapes or whatever, you know. Don't worry too much, put a few buildings. If you're doing a city, if you're doing a natural setting, you put some mountains and stuff. Yeah, so get a script and get some ideas, that's the main thing. And then work out your scenes, whether it's animation or comic. Thanks for watching, it's quite a long video, I better finish now. Talk to you again soon, thanks for watching. Yeah, rough, very rough. It's just like basic sketch, basic setups with it. Thanks for watching, yeah. This is Fire Alpaca I'm using. I also like to use Critter, they're both good softwares. Okay, from PC. You can use them on other things like iPad too. I'm going to say that I use it on the PC. Okay, let's stop the video now. Take care guys.